spaces for as ADA, it's really based on the need, because that could change semester to semester. I know one year when we added all the handicap right up here in front of College Hall, you see there's nothing but handicap in that little section. There's about 5 or 6 handicap spaces, and that's because we had a ton of faculty, staff, and students that were taking classes in the PAC. And then it was needed that we added, because that used to be faculty staff parking. So, but there was a need there to add additional spaces there, and that's why we did that. And then a lot of spaces, we really look at that when it's close to an academic building, of adding and keeping enough. We really overboard with it around those, and that's just so that we'll have enough to accommodate our faculty, staff, and students.
So for game day, what are the parking spots?
For ADA, we do not reserve handicap for football game day. If one of our students or faculty staff or already parked there prior to game, they remain there without being ticketed or towed for anything. We just don't reserve our handicap.
I don't know if y'all notice on game day, all the lots are roped off for the most part. Most parking spots are roped off now, and so if I'm handicapped and I pull up and I have a handicap sticker, I just say, hey, is there a handicap spot in there? And they say yes or no. If it's yes, they can pull in. So it's kind of just like a general parking space, first come, first served deal.
Right.
Now we also have on game day, we have a handicap parking lot, which is actually right out here, where just general handicap.
As long as they have a state placard,
can come.
We allow them to park in the general handicap, and once that's full, that's when we normally go to the other lots that are reserved, and we communicate by radio asking them is there availability of handicap spaces in those particular lots, and then we let them park in those reserved areas in the handicap.
So, and there's trying to think. We have 2 lots really. One's reserved for Eagle Club handicap,
Right.
and then one is general.
Is general. Handicap.
Well, yeah, we got a question on where do the Eagle Club members park?
The ADA, the handicap ones are just general.
Just general.
Oh, it's all over. There's 20 plus lots, so that's just. And if you get on SouthernMiss.com and you look at right next to the Eagle Head, right at the top, there's Eagle Club. If you scroll over that, it'll have priority parking. You can pull a map for y'all if y'all have to do a report. But there's, I guess, lot 20 is the highest lot, but we have like 15A, 14A, 14B, 14, 50. So we have, but there's about 20 or so, 23 lots actually total. What I was going to say as far as handicap goes, also, we don't provide ADA compliant people provide a shuttle, so a golf cart. We'll go and pick them up and take them and bring them to the stadium and stuff like that.
2 hours prior to, they start that 2 hours prior to a football
Kickoff.
game, kickoff for that, and what they do, they go get people in the surrounding lots and bring them into the stadium. And that's not just ADA, that's just anybody elderly, handicap, on crutches, of things of that nature.
What are the bigger issues on game day?
Parking.
Probably parking.
And a lot of times,
traffic control, some.
Traffic control. You'd be surprised as far as people trying to sneak their way into lots and arguing with guards. And for the most part, I would say driving on campus, it's pretty dangerous if y'all been out on game day. There's a lot of people walking around and they'll walk in the middle of the road.
Right, long congestion, traffic.
People will forge parking passes.
Exactly.
And that's what we deal with. So that's probably why we say it's a big issue. It's what we deal with on game day.
Right, and certain areas too, when the traffic is really high in certain areas, we will block the whole street off. Occasionally, especially around the district, that area, we normally sometimes close the road or something, allow no more traffic, maybe for a couple hours, and then open it back up, or things like that. But I must say that has gotten better,
Yeah.
because the way we've got it organized for them to come unload,
Right.
we reserve some spaces enough for people to come unload, for tailgating. So we've provided some spaces there that we block off for that as well.
But also, I mean, you know, right now y'all see a bunch of construction on campus. Construction causes some problems, just with traffic
Right.
flow, parking in general. You know, this last year they took, I mean, because of construction, we lost 216 spaces or something.
Spaces, 25 spaces.
So that causes an issue because you have, obviously those spots were paid for by donors, and we lose those, so we gotta put them somewhere else.
Right, and then we, and for as the general public, we try to advertise that through our website, let them know where the general parking is located. It's mostly to the west of campus, and we provide that for our students as well. We post it in their dorms or student services building, and then we put flyers 3 days prior to a game day. We put flyers out letting them know where to park on game day for that. So we communicate that. I am putting in the student prints.
I think maybe, what does USM do to ensure that we are compliant? Like, do we have, I know we have handicap ramps and stuff like that.
Susie Abear
Oh, yeah,
is
okay.
our compliance person, and as far as parking, you know, we convey back, we have conversations back and forth in regards to any
I'm sure there's
ADA
reports
or-
that they have to
Yes,
fill
and that's,
out.
right, and I know it, yes, it is, that we are in compliance, and also with our safety guy on campus, through physical plant, to make sure, you know, our slopes are certain measures, and that we have, certain number, ADA, accessible for a wheelchair. Make sure we have those in certain areas, and that comes about as a need, because a lot of times a lot of students say, hey, you know, I've got, you know, I'm in a wheelchair and I have the van, and I need that particular type of parking, and we might create that for those areas that were, you know, are requested for the van accessible.
About the compliant, is there a penalty for not being compliant?
Oh, yes, yes it is. And that's through, you know, once, if we
I'm sure we
find,
get cut funding.
yes, and you can be fined as well. So, but that all falls through our ADA compliance office, Miss Susie Abear.
Okay.
Might want to ask her, put a star by some of these questions,
Yeah,
and look up Susie
she'll
Abear.
she'll have like I said, more detail, but to stay in compliance with that. Because I know when we get ready to create spaces, we always, of course, consult her and our safety from physical planning to make sure it's the right measurements for the space and the van accessibles and things like that, and we are properly signing it properly with the symbol and everything, and it's properly signed.
But is there any difference in the way you prepare for different sporting events regarding parking?
For the event,
Yes, ma'am.
no, but when we do special events for athletic, we really have to make sure we heavily advertise, because we reserve so many, you know, lots that we properly let our campus community and general public know just what we're reserving, because it is such a large event. It's one of our larger events.
Yeah, the biggest thing is letting people know, you know, I mean, y'all as students, you don't want to come back and your car be towed because you're in a lot. We want to let you know beforehand, hey,
Right.
you've got to move by 5 p.m. on this date, blah, blah, blah. And that's really, I mean, that's pretty standard across
Yes. Mm-hmm.
all athletic events. I mean, the difference is obviously the size of the event.
Correct.
Football games obviously cover a lot of the campus, majority of the campus. Basketball games, we only do 3 lots, you know, compared to football when it's 20.
Correct.
So, but as far as, the system, typically in the morning of the event is when all the ropes go up, minus a few areas for football.
Right.
And
That's when
then-
staff comes on to staff those lots first thing in the morning. And we have a few areas that we keep open to the end of the game, but most of the areas they are open up like an hour after the game for that.
But it's kind of parking management's done a good job of fine tuning it as far as, here's what time we're gonna be set up, here's what time we're gonna close down, here's the process of getting it set up. Like for basketball yesterday, they were out there at 10 o'clock in the morning roping everything off. The game didn't start till 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. But with basketball, you don't have the tailgate going on typically, so you don't have to worry about being out there. Like football games are out there at 7 a.m. every Saturday morning.
Correct.
That's when y'all do your meetings, and then you break up and you go out and everything gets roped off and all that stuff. So
Correct.
But yeah, we have a question about staff. On average, how many event staff members do you have on hand for each sporting event?
As far as my area, we have about 85. That's including Randy Banks.
including
Mhm. Professional security.
for football, 85.
It's about for our portion now. Then I'm trying to remember that number for police officers because you got a large range there. It's about.
Most police officers, though, they're not walking the lots, are they?
Well, you
You're
have
talking.
one.
You're talking
you
specifically
talking
about parking, right?
just by park. Oh, 85. We
Okay.
have parking attendant staff and.
And basketball's probably 1, 2, 3,
it's about
4.
8.
Yeah.
10, 8. No more 8. That's 8. For basketball.
We don't do park. Well, and then I guess 2 for baseball.
2 lots, but we don't.
But we only do the 1 lot. But I don't think y'all do it, but we do it on our
Yeah,
end
you guys
for
do that.
parking. So 2 for baseball. Be for the parking lot.
Well, how many outside employees do you have working on game days?
Parking lots or all together?
Just parking.
Just parking.
I mean,
Randy Banks have maybe about 30, 35.
It's hard to say because
Kinda hard to
technically, I mean, really, even though we have people who are employed here at the university, we pay them separately for their
Right.
for their events. So I mean, it's not part of their hourly job that they're working these events for.
Right.
They get paid time and a half to work these events. So really, you could say that they're all outside people. I mean, it's additional income that
Right.
they can elect to sign up for or not. But
Correct.
I guess Randy Banks people, which we refer to Randy Banks, it's another security team. How many of those?
I'll say 35 to 40. Because the other half is probably
Is USM parking?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. We just had to talk to
Miss Susie Abel?
yes, we had to talk to her about the other question.
You want to write that? Her Susie
SUZY? Mm-hmm.
Hebert.
Okay.
So she's a real nice lady.
Yes.
I went to school with her sons. I've known her for a long time.
So, yeah, you'll get in contact
What,
with her anyway.
Just in case we need to give y'all more information. What exactly is the project y'all are working on? Like, what is this? What do y'all have to do?
Well, basically, we just have to meet with you guys and put like a 10 to 15 minute presentation together in a paper. We got some more people in the group, but they weren't able to come.
Okay.
So we just gonna like write up a paper. Then we have to get in front of them and do a PowerPoint presentation.
Is it just on parking, or is it on
It's
the
on
whole event? Because I know this is an event management class, right?
Yes. Yes.
So is it on the whole event? Each of y'all have different parts, and parking's part of this?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
do y'all have other stuff that?
Yeah. It's other parts, but like the part that we have is ADA